2022 was another amazing year here at VINwiki, and we have you, our audience, to thank for that. Without you guys watching and sharing our videos and supporting our sponsors, none of this happened. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. This year we passed over 1,500 videos total released on the YouTube platform. We started releasing videos on Facebook and shorts and things like that, but we gained about 100,000 subscribers, 60,000 new users in the VINwiki app. Please download that if you haven't already. We are working on some international beta releases and things like that hopefully we'll have for you sometime in 2023. But it's been just an awesome year, and I'm so thankful. At the end of each year, I try to give some updates on a lot of the stories that we've covered where a little bit of information has come out, but it doesn't necessarily amount to making an entire new video. Of course, the first thing that everybody asks me when I see them on the street is, what is the latest with the El Chapo F1, or the Humberto Ojeda McLaren F1 from the Sinaloa cartel? And to be quite honest, I still don't know. I've had 3 people approach me with tremendous conviction and confidence that where they thought it was is where the car is, but none of them have been able to provide a picture or anything truly definitive. One swears that he saw the car driving in Mexico early this year. One swears that it's at MSO with McLaren in England, and the other that it's in Saudi Arabia. And so I think it's definitely still in Mexico. I think if it was anywhere else, it would be almost impossible for no one to have a photo to provide to me. But as I understand it, it's still down there. I'm no closer to buying it. Everybody that has gotten close enough to tell me about it says that the family will never sell the car without really even providing me proof that they still have it. But nobody's tried to kill me yet, so that's a big plus. The Lambulance, the VINwiki cheap Lamborghini that we sold for $35,000 to Hannah from Arkansas, is liveried up as an ambulance. It's gone to some amazing events. Hannah and her husband have done some great work with the car, and that's been so much fun to see. It has started to run into some reliability issues, and we don't know how many miles were on that thing, probably between 80 and 100,000. So a lot of smoking on startup, but it still runs and drives, and it's a car. They're looking at possibly a rebuild of the engine, possibly an LS swap, a lot of interesting options. So be sure to follow her channel for more updates. I also recently talked to Peter, who I gave my Porsche 993 to after we hit 1 million subscribers a few years ago. He is still loving the car. He's been daily driving it, sometimes in the snow in the Pacific Northwest. He said he would make it back down here at some point soon to tell us more about his adventures in the car. He still has no plans to sell it. And so, you know, that car's probably now worth $80,000, $90,000, even with its track accident in the past. But I was so glad to see it go to a young enthusiast who is driving it, who's loving it, and got to have a dream car before you normally would get to. So that was absolutely perfect. We've also got some updates on the Chinese-Canadian Mercy SV. I talked about my efforts to buy that car several years ago. I ended up passing the lead off to another guy in China who owns the car, and some efforts may or may not be underway to sneak it out. So we'll see if that happens. Hopefully it will show up in the US before too terribly long, and that'll be a very exciting story to tell. Another huge thing to celebrate for the VINwiki audience and family is that this year, Arnie's E63 AMG that set the Cannonball record back in 2019 is now back on the road. Early in 2020, it was demolished by a tractor trailer, but the team at Foreign Builds got a donor car in that car, and they have put a working one together, and Arnie drove that car this year to the Cannonballers reunion that we had in New York. So it was so nice to see that car back on the road, fully functional, looking like the silver passenger car that we know and love. We've also heard that one of the turbine cars that Steve Leto talked about here is going to be the next car inducted into the National Vehicle Registry Hall of Fame, into the Library of Congress, in the same way that the Cannonball Countach was by Haggerty. So you saw me and Tamarian and some of the other recognizable VINwiki characters on the story of that car. And so it's great to see that the turbine car's notoriety, which a lot happened to millions and millions of views that people saw it here on VINwiki, is going to be the next in line there. I appreciate the hundreds of messages and comments asking me if I was aware of the T-Pain and George Grobe of GMG kind of drama that was happening over the Pickle Rick drift car. Now, I have known George for, I don't know, 25 years now, and I've known T-Pain for more than a decade. I actually sold him an orange Lamborghini Gallardo that he would later trade on his Bugatti Veyron that he doesn't have anymore. And so I have offered over the years many times for T-Pain to come on and tell stories. He's always asked to be paid to do so, which I don't do. And so he's never been here, and I, have heard about all of it from both sides, and I know that George definitely let T-Pain down on that build. And personally, I've just tried to keep my distance from it, but I appreciate everybody for letting me know. I'll probably do another video sometime early in the year talking about where all of the Car Trek cars have gone. I did one of those several years ago, but now there's a whole lot more Car Trek cars. But probably the most interesting development in all of that is that Tyler bought the Vanquish from Car Trek 2 that I had bought from a Colombian drug dealer, it appeared, that I sold to Freddie right after the series, and now Tyler has it. So it's the only car that all three of us have owned. Of course, we've all had Mercies and other cars that we've duplicated, but that car has made its round, and I think Tyler is quite enjoying having it as part of his won the lottery 10 or 15 years ago garage. Another story that I'm very excited to have an update to as a full story here on VINwiki soon is that of John Tamarian's father's Miura SV. So he told the story about how his grandfather had a 250 GTO that his father convinced him to trade for a Miura that later got traded up into a Miura SV. And it is probably the best US example of the car. It is spectacular, and it's undergone, I don't know, a 20 or 25 year restoration at this point, and it's done. And so, you know, John's dad is proper OCD about things. It's not out driving or anything like that, but it is now in perfect running and driving condition, tucked away. And so we've got to find with him the best way for that car to be unveiled to the world, because it certainly is something the world needs to see. People also ask a lot about the Flood Bugatti, the one that drove into the Galveston Bay. Houston Crosta owns that car. He's painted it purple. It's the car that we saw sort of disassembled when we shot Car Trek 2 at his facility, Royalty Exotic Cars. And so as I understand it, the car is running. I haven't seen a video or anything of it, but I'm excited to hear Houston tell us more about that. I know Houston's also been entertaining the possibility of purchasing the Flood P1 out of Southwest Florida. Freddie is also jonesing pretty hard to buy that, exploring all avenues of exotic car financing to see how it might be possible for him to buy it and make it the next big Tavares project, which I'm certainly in favor of watching. That's going to be a monumental effort, certainly well beyond what I would want to do. I did try to purchase a flooded 2018 Porsche 911 GT3 Touring that I thought was going to be a good deal. I mean, that waterline was high. The whole interior was covered in fuzzy mold, so it would have been a fun project for the guys at Glossit to clean up. But that didn't work out yet. We'll see. You know, all the way Copart works and the prices that overseas buyers are paying, there haven't really been a lot of good deals out there. I talk to the guys from JR Garage frequently about what they're looking at. Rustam, who's told several stories on this channel, actually was able to buy a manual transmission 430 Spider, a factory manual, not a swapped car. Super duper cool. It looks like it's going to start soon. It needed a few electronic components and modules, as you would expect out of a flood car, but it was a shallow flood, so I think he's going to be okay with that. And I'm excited to have him come and tell the story of that car. But look, it's been an amazing year of very, very fun cars. We got to do 4 car treks. We did recently importable cars, gas guzzlers for the price of a Model 3, wrecked exotics for the price of a Z06, and of course, the Oregon fail, overlanding the Oregon Trail in bad off-roaders. If you haven't already watched that, please do it, because the more that you watch it, the more we get to do more of them, and we love Auto Tempest and the Ticket Clinic for supporting that. But please let us know in the comments what you'd like to see us do more of next year, what we didn't do well this year. We always love the feedback. I listen to all the comments. I really, really do appreciate that. Next year, we're also going to fire back up our VINwiki survey panel. We did it a couple of years with the what would you buy for a certain dollar amount thing. But again, we're going to ask our panel of influencers and storytellers and automotive experts a question and compile it all into a single video. So if there's a question you'd like our panel to answer, please let us know in the comments. Again this year, counting down to New Year's, at least in Eastern time, we will compile our top 10 VINwiki car stories of the year. So join in our live chat. You can talk to everybody as we ring in 2023 and be thankful as we are for 2022. So truly, thank you guys so much for watching this year. If you're looking for the perfect way to support VINwiki, as always, head on over to Auto Tempest to shop for your next car. Then check the VINwiki app to see what history we have available on it, and send the Lemon Squad out for a great in-person inspection. Use the Simple Lease from Premier Financial Services, the most powerful tool in the world of exotic car financing, and then throw on your sway gear and head out for the road trip home of a lifetime. Be sure to protect yourself from radar and laser using Redenzo's system, but if you do get a ticket, be sure to fight it with the Ticket Clinic. Once you get home, clean the car up with Glossit's amazing line of detailing products, and head over to ModFind to look for the perfect way to modify and customize your new car. Find a matching ring at Patrick Adair Designs to celebrate your new purchase, and if you happen to be in the Atlanta area, trust Butler Tire for all your wheel and tire needs, and get a clear bra from AP3 Paint Protection. They protect all of my cars. Then head out to Caffeine and Octane to show off your new ride, and then I'm sure you'll wind up right here with quite the story to tell. Happy New Year, everybody.